Hi, and welcome to CrewsVs UK. I'm AJ Schroeder, and I'm going to be talking to you about the street side of modified cars.
Hi, and I'm Matt House, and I'm going to be dealing with the motorsport side of things.
Why?
Parking brake was off, man.
Anyway, I'm going to be telling you about everything from car meets to car shows and everything in between. The real side of modified cars.
Oi, hold on a minute, mate.
What?
The real side of modified cars is the motorsport, mate. Circuit racing, drag racing, and drifting.
These track guys. Anyway, we'll leave it for you guys to decide, so...
let's go.
Okay, the first feature we're going to have a look at is the world of drifting. It's the fastest growing motorsport anywhere in the world, but at the same time, it's a bit expensive. So I'm going to pass this track action over to Matt.
Actually, Mr. AJ, I will correct you there. As with everything, there's always a cheaper option, and we're going to go over to the Drift All Stars Driving Academy. And yes, they do full packages, but they also do a nice introductory 2-hour package, which I personally think is really very good value for money. So, guys, if you're interested in drifting and you want to get involved, don't do it like these guys on the streets. Do it properly. Do it safe, do it legally, do it at drift school.
We went to a drift school that is based at Brands Hatch, spending time with amateurs who all want to learn more about the art of driving a car sideways. Everyone firstly gets a briefing, giving all participants a rundown of what they'll be doing throughout the session.
My name's Niall, and thanks for coming. It's a bit cold and icy today, but should make your experience a bit more interesting. Over the next few minutes I'll give you an introduction and a bit of a breakdown of what you're going to be doing over the next 2 hours. Basically how we do it is break the day into 2 hours, and there's 3 driving sessions and 1 passenger ride session. The first zone is donuts and figures of 8. May sound quite small, may sound quite tedious, but it's actually the fundamentals for starting car control.
After the briefing, it's time to hit the tarmac. As you step into the car, the first thing you need to do is erase everything you know about driving, as this is altogether new. The first part of the session, you're taken out by a professional who shows you the basics of steering, throttle and clutch control. The driver talks you through each section step by step during the whole training exercise. Remember, you're free to ask any questions as the wheel soon slips into your hands. As explained in the briefing, you get the basic training on donuts, which is controlled drifting in a circle. You're then taken through the slightly more technical skill of figure of eights. As the day progresses, you learn more and more about how to handle a car at its limits. Not only do you get to try your hand at drifting, there are also drift taxis. These are high-powered professional drift cars, some of which are even competition cars. Professional drivers have only one aim, which is to scare the living daylights out of you. This high-speed action teaches you many of the things to do, and also many of the things not to do, as even the professionals can go too far and make mistakes. It's a great experience whether you're male, female, young or old. If you enjoy watching it, you can only imagine doing it. In fact, no, you can actually do it.
Well, Matt, it's actually quite nice to see that drifting is now cheaper to get into.
Yeah, man, you should give it a go. It might improve your driving.
Anyway, now we're going to go over to our tune-in specialist.
Well, if it's tuning you want, there's only one man for the job, and that's Professor D. He is the human Haynes manual.
Today we're going to talk about engines. There is three main types of engine which are commonly available. These would be your petrol 4-stroke engine, which are normally a petrol spark ignited engine. We then move on to diesel engines. Now, diesel engines have come a long way forward since the original industrial and commercial applications of them, which they were seen as being dirty, sooty, not efficient, etc. But in more recent times, with even performance cars, luxury cars, and even Audi with the Le Mans TDI, they have moved on to a great level of refinement and even performance tuning, as most of them are turbocharged, makes the actual tuning of them a lot easier. With this, they form an important part of the actual tuning industry, because there is a lot more cars on the roads these days which are diesel and are a lot more refined. Then we have rotary engines. Rotary engines are commonly used in the Mazda performance range, which are basically a rotating device within a chamber, and the chamber has three areas, which are basically induction, compression and exhaust. These are a very tunable engine. They do love turbos, and they can offer really great horsepower. While at Garage D we specialise in the 4-stroke petrol engine, which as a piston engine we have over 20 years of experience in these. From carburetors to injection to turbocharging to the new advances made in engine management, we can achieve the maximum potential of these engines, which have been around for over 100 years.
The 60-second rundown allows you, the driver, to video and show off the best bits of your car. It doesn't matter if your car has basic or extreme modifications, this is just your time to shine. You can take us through engine tuning, bodywork, and ice. That's in-car entertainment for those of you who aren't familiar. But you only have 60 seconds to show us what you and your car have got. Then the nation will vote for the best video on our website, and you could end up on the show. To upload your video, go to www.CrewsVs.com/60second.
Right, I'm Simon, this is my 67 Mustang, bought it in the UK in mid-Wales a couple of years ago. I've had it totally restored, nut and bolt restoration. It's got a 4.7 litre engine with modifications on it. Pushing about 320 horsepower. Like I said, I was originally going to do it silver paint with a blue stripe. I changed my mind last minute and did it blue with a silver stripe, which I'm happy I did. I've had all the interior done as well. It's all renewed all the way through. Got the Mustang emblems embroidered on the stuff as well. I've kept the theme all the way through with the mats and everything like that. And wheels are from America. They're chip-foose wheels. Bought them off the internet, took a chance on it, and they absolutely worked out brilliant for me. And my pride and joy. And people ask me what I'm doing to the gallon on it, and I just don't answer the question because it's just not worth it. You don't buy these cars for that. You buy them for the prestige and the joy to ride them.
To upload your video, and for the chance for you and your car to appear on the show, or if you just want to vote for someone, go to www.CrewsVs.com/60second. That's www.CrewsVs.com/60second.
Welcome back. Professor D's just taken us through the basics of an engine.
And now we're going to go through the deeper side.
Professor D.
Now we're going to talk about the two main sections of an engine. Firstly, we have the cylinder head, which, if you lift the bonnet of a car, is the first main part of an engine you see. This consists of two main areas, being the induction and the exhaust. This is controlled by camshafts, which operate the valves which control this operation. As the engine rotates, it turns the camshafts. The camshafts are an eccentric device which lift the valves up and down. Now, in your typical four-cylinder engine, which is commonly in your production car, you have two valves per cylinder, which is the essence of an engine. But with the increased efficiency of the new multi-valve engines, you'll have up to 4 valves per cylinder, which you'll commonly see on your hot hatch car, 16 valves. The valves are very, very important in the tuning of an engine because they control the induction process, which is your air and fuel, and they also control the exhaust process, which is the waste gases exiting the engine. The engines that we tune and deal with here at Garage D are all 4 valve per cylinder engines, which are operated by twin overhead camshafts. The areas of the camshaft are very important because they control the lift of the valve and the timing of the valves, and this is one of the most important areas for our tuning side when it comes to building a high performance engine. The other section that we have to deal with is the block. This is often referred to in engines as the CC, or the capacity of an engine. The three main components are the pistons, the conrods, the crankshaft. As the pistons go up and down, controlled by the cylinder head, these move the conrods up and down, which are connected to the crankshaft, which is what rotates the crankshaft. This is all mounted below the cylinder head, which is sealed by the cylinder head gasket.
Taxi Breeze.
I just learned something new from that. Anyway, let's go over to Brighton, where clubs and car enthusiasts have been meeting up for many years, enjoying the atmosphere and the Brighton Pier.
Do you know the first speed trials were held in Brighton in 1905? It's the longest running motorsport in the world.
Only you know something like that. Anyway, let's go over to Brighton now and see this car meet, which is hosted by Just Jap.
Don't forget your sunblock.
I'm good.
Brighton is renowned for its beaches, its piers, its nightlife, and so many other things. But many in the general public are unaware of its long-running automotive history. Over the last 10 years, Brighton has been host to hundreds of car meets from over 30 different clubs. This night's meet was held by Just Jap. With far in excess of 100 people attending, this was a large car meet. There was almost every kind of modified car available at this event. We're now going to go over to Terry Watson to explain a little bit more about the club.
Hi, I'm Terry. I'm one of the founding members of Just Jap. It's from 4 people that decided that they were sick of club politics and such like within the whole car scene. As we all owned Japanese cars, we decided we'd set up our own thing, so hence Just Jap appeared. It started basically the end of 2010, and we've slowly run it up, and now it's just hitting off. We're based in Shoreham near Brighton. No, we have weekly meets on a Tuesday, which everyone is welcome to, and then we do things like this where we involve other car clubs like UK Modified South, Sussex Street Rides, Coastal Cruisers, and we try and get everyone together and just have a really good night without any trouble, lots of fun, lots of cars, great people. This came about from one of our members, as it goes. It was their great idea. His name's James. He thought it'd be a really good idea to get everybody together, try and make a really good meet. He came and approached us. We were really up for it, so we approached other car clubs. They were really up for it as well. So we put it on Facebook, and it's just flown. Just Jap, as a club itself, is obviously primarily Jap cars. Everybody is welcome to our personal meets on a weekly basis, but as a club, hopefully it will become nationwide. It will purely be Japanese based, so when we go and do shows and things like that, it will only be Jap cars. But as far as the whole scene goes, we hope to work with the clubs we have tonight, as well as many others, on lots of other occasions to try and build something like this elsewhere as well as just here. Just Jap is a really people and member based organisation. We're passionate and enthusiastic about our cars and the scene as a whole, and I have to say it would not be anywhere near what it is right now if it wasn't for the people and the members that are currently part of it, and hopefully the rest of them that will become part of it, as well as all the other clubs around us that are supporting us right now and working with us to produce such brilliant events like tonight. We haven't so far tonight. We've had them come over, they've talked to a few people. They've had a few issues with parking, which we've tried to resolve wherever possible. And on our weekly meets, we come up, they come along, sometimes chat, just drive past. But no, generally as a rule, we don't have any issues with the police, because anything we run, we try and do as legal as possible. Well, one of our founding members, Tasha, she's actually pregnant at the moment. We're going to be holding a little baby shower cruise for her, just to say thank you for everything she's done for the club and for everybody else around her. She's been part of the club from the beginning, and she's also been part of the car scene for quite a few years now. So that's our next thing. Then we're going to go to BHP show as a club, and we're trying to organise a drift session there for Just Jack members and other Jack cars, so that should be really good if we can pull that off. Next, we've also got another one of these with the same people as this time, so UK Modified South, Sussex Street Rides and Coastal Cruisers in March on the 31st, and we hope that it will be bigger and better, but just as safe, fun and legal as it is tonight.
While admiring the cars, it's not only the cold that hits you, but hunger as well. So trust us when we say that burgers and fish and chips have never tasted greater on a freezing cold night on the seafront. This Back to the Old School Car Meet was not for old school cars, but for the old school feel of the meet and location. For those of you in the meet scene, probably heard of this name before, as there have been few meets in previous years. But don't worry if you haven't, as there probably will be more in the future. The cars kept coming throughout the night, filling the parking spaces along the seafront. Everything from classic Ford Cortinas to new M3 BMWs attended. Even the police had to admit that they liked some of the cars. Being a typically Jack club, they had a great array of Jack cars, from the smaller starlets to the bigger skylines. Cars came from all around the UK, and there was even this gorgeous VW Corrado, which came all the way from Bulgaria. Cars were the main attraction, there was much more. This night showed the social networking side of modified cars, where people discussed their customised parts and talked about what their next plans were. The scene is usually renowned for being a mainly male-dominated area, but as you can see from Just Jap, women are joining the scene in a major way.
Some amazing machines here. I'm so glad the passion hasn't died in modern day enthusiasts.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that's the end of episode 1 of CrewsVs UK. Throughout the rest of the series, we're going to be travelling the country to find the best car meets and shows and take you through the real world of modified cars. So sit back and enjoy.
Coming up next week. We'll be going over to Luton to meet up with Bed's Modified Car Club, who hosts one of the biggest local car meets in the UK. We'll also be travelling to Wellingborough to see what is one of the hottest racing series, the Barrel Sprint. And our resident fabrication specialist, Wolf, will be educating you on what vehicle customization is all about.